welcome to our show today. We shall be exploring the science behind catapults. So, Mokenu, are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you were in the Middle Ages, imagine this was a huge castle and you needed to take this down and you had a catapult. What do you think it would take?
It would dismantle the walls.
Yes, but you need a really big catapult with a huge rock, perhaps, don't you think?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, today we shall be exploring what it would take to bring down a tower 10 times this size using a catapult. So before we go into it, we shall talk about all the scientific principles that we shall be exploring.
Energy.
Energy is the ability to do work.
Potential energy.
Potential energy is energy that is stored. It's also due to an object's position or state.
Kinetic energy.
This is the energy an object has due to motion.
Lever.
We shall be looking at what levers are, and it's a long, steady body that rests on a support called a fulcrum. Okay, so let's get started with a small catapult. So here we have a catapult that you can make using popsicle sticks. Now when you eat your ice lollies, save up the sticks because you can then use them to make a catapult. How do we do this? We simply need a number of sticks that we put together. Help me put them together, Mokenu. With a number of rubber bands. Now, you will need to create the launcher. How do we do this, Mokenu? I know you're a star at doing this. Okay, so you would put this together right here like this, okay, with your rubber band. And once you put them together with your rubber bands, you support them, and there you come up with your catapult. Now, all you would need to do is to get a bottle cap from a soda bottle, a water bottle, and you can stick it onto one of the sticks using super glue, or you can use a glue gun. Okay, all right. Go for it, Mokenu. Let's see how far it can launch. Whoa, well done. So how does that work? What happens is the energy is stored within this stick. Now, when you pull it back, that is called elastic potential energy. And when you release it, you give the object that is released kinetic energy. That is energy in motion. And boom, that is when it takes off. So now we are going to be looking at a different kind of catapult that almost works in the same way, but the energy used is slightly different. Now, if you lived in the Middle Ages, you would be fighting very many wars. Now imagine you have this big castle wall that you need to bring down. And you would have this catapult that you need to operate. Do you think this one would work?
Yes.
I don't think so. Would you be able to put a rock in this one?
No.
No, you wouldn't. So what they had in that time was a type of a catapult called a trebuchet. Big word. Can you spell that for our audience?
T-R-E-B-U-C-H-E-T.
Super. All right. So how does a trebuchet work? So what happens is, if you look at it, does this remind you of something, Mokenu?
Yes. It reminds me of a seesaw.
Yes, this works like a seesaw. So what happens is that you have a lever here, and this is what would be called your fulcrum, okay? So if you think about a seesaw, when you have a weight on one side, if you have, say, somebody who's heavier on this side and they go down, this goes up, then you come down again, that goes up. So in this case, we put something that is much heavier on this side, And what it does is that it creates gravitational potential energy. So when it comes down due to the force of gravity, it then creates kinetic energy for this projectile here, and it is flung all the way up, boom, and that's what would bring down your castle. Okay, so we're going to just take you through how this would work. All right, Mukenu, let's take our audience through how we would make this at home. So what would we start with? We need to create a frame, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so to create your frame, again, you can use your popsicle sticks, or you can use these sticks. Now, these sticks are called tongue depressors. It's what your doctor uses when they need to put down your tongue and look at your throat. So you can pick them up at any pharmacy, okay? So what you then do is that you create a frame, kind of like you're making a swing, right? Okay, so you would put these together with the rubber bands. Go ahead and do that for us. To create a cross right here. Okay. All right, so you have one part of your frame done. Okay. Thank you, Mukenu. All right, so there, you have one part of your frame done. Now what you would do is that you would attach it to a flat piece of cardboard or a board if you have one. For that, you can use super glue or you can use a glue gun. What does a glue gun look like? This is it. You can pick one up at a hardware store or at a craft store or Biashara Street where they sell fabrics and, you know, craft things. And what happens is that it's very, it melts the glue, and then you're able to put the glue and attach what you need to attach. Now with this, you have to be very careful, children. You can only use it with an adult because the glue gets very, very hot and can burn you. So after we put up the frame, like we have done here, you need to break 4 more craft sticks into 2 so that you're able to create a support for your frame like we have right here. Okay, so for the support that you'll need to set up your lever, you can use a bamboo stick, a bamboo skewer. All right, so what you do is just break off the edges a bit so that it's not too long, and then you would put it right in the middle there. Okay, now for you to create a fulcrum that is movable, we are going to use a straw, like a milkshake straw or even a regular straw. So to create the right kind of fulcrum, you need to cut off a bit from the straw, and that's what would go right here in the middle. And then you would attach your stick, your popsicle stick to it using some rubber bands. Now for these loom bands are best because they're very small and they work perfectly. Okay, so there we have attached it. Now, as you continue your experiment, you shall test what affects how far your projectile goes. So for example, if you pull this right to the middle, does it affect how far your projectile goes? Or if it's closer to the edge here, does it affect how far your projectile goes? In our case, it is closer to the edge, and we shall test on the video and show you what happens if you move it closer to the middle or further or closer towards the projectile. Okay? All right, so once your trebuchet is set up, now you shall need to attach a weight to one side. In our case, we have used a AA battery, okay? And what we have done is that we have taped a piece of string to it. Insulating tape or duct tape is best to use because it's very strong, all right? So once you attach the string to the battery, now you come back here and attach it to the lever using a loom band once again. We're almost right there. What is the next step that we need to do, Mukenu?
We need to attach a paper clip to the edge so we're able to launch our projectile.
All right, so here is our paper clip. Again, please make sure you do this with an adult because paper clips are quite sharp and they can hurt you. Okay, so take it apart, Mokeno. All right, so you will straighten it out a bit. Make sure you attach it to the edge of the lever. Again, you can use super glue or you can use your glue gun. Now, do you remember something about this edge, Mokeno? Should it be all straight once we are ready to launch?
It should be bent a bit.
It should be slightly bent, right?
Yes.
So that it's able to throw our projectile straight across, right? Okay, so once you've done all of that, then you are ready to launch. All right, so what we have done is we've created our little projectile using some what, Mokeno? We used some string, yes, and some Play-Doh, right? Okay, so let's see how far this projectile can go, right? Okay. So what you do is you put it right here on the edge. Shall we get that, Mokeno, here? Come and do it for us. Ready, aim, fire! There you go. Well done. We have made our trebuchet. Okay, so what are the different variations you can do to see how far your projectile can go? All right, we talked about the first one. How far up the fulcrum should this lever be? We've moved our lever right to the middle of the fulcrum. Let's see if that affects how far this goes. Go for it, Mokeno. Ready, aim, fire. What do you think?
It didn't launch as far as when it was closer to the battery.
Good. Okay, so we know that if we need to move the lever quite close to the battery for us to be able to launch our projectile really far. Okay, so the next thing we shall try out is a heavier battery, right? Okay, so we need to get some tape and some string right here. Okay, so there's our string, and here we have our tape. So let's tape it to the Okay, so let's attach the string here. All right, you'll hold that for me. Yes, right there. And let's do our tape around that way. We'll need a bit more tape. Just hold that out there. Okay, there we go. Now we shall need to attach this. Okay. All right. There we go. Uh-oh, but we do have a bit of a problem here. The battery is quite big, but that's okay. Let's see how far this can go. All right. Okay, so lift it up. Okay, there you go. Go for it, Mokeno. Let's take it down as far as possible. Okay, so take it down. All right, so ready, aim, fire. Woo! So there we have a problem. And the reason for that is that our battery is too big. Okay, so it needs more space to go down so that it can be able to launch our projectile. So a modification that you can do when you make it at home is make sure you use bigger sticks. So for example, if you used these sticks, you'd be able to make a frame that stands higher, and therefore you can be able to use a heavier battery, and if you do that, your projectile should be able to go further. Okay, so one other modification that you can do is to try and make your lever longer. Okay, now if you try and make it longer, again you can test how far does your projectile go, how does it affect how far your projectile goes. All right, wasn't that fun, Mokenu?
Yes.
Okay, so do you remember our key principles? Okay, yes, sorry, go ahead.
Kinetic energy.
Yes, kinetic energy, and that is energy in motion. All right, which is the other one we talked about?
Potential energy.
Yes, potential energy, that is the energy that is stored up in any object. Okay, and then you remember all the different things we've learnt about. We've learnt about a lever and a
fulcrum.
Yes, and this can be applied. The same principle is applied in the making of a seesaw, right? Yes. All right, and so next time you're playing on a seesaw, try and remember about balancing your weights and see how that affects how the seesaw goes. But please remember to be careful on the seesaw because you could launch your partner, right, Mokenu? That's it from us today. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like our Facebook page, Zazi Show KE, our Instagram, Zazi_show, and our YouTube channel, OTBX Kenya, Zazi Show.
Also share your pictures and videos of your catapults and trebuchets.
Yes, we'd love to see how you've done that and what your results are. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.